How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising. The 2030 World Cup has concluded. We are back with league football action. But before we do that, and of course from the intro, I thought, why not look at a World Cup where Mbappe got 14 goals and France won the whole thing. 14 goals, 99.9, in fact, I know it. It's a World Cup record for goals scored. That Kylian Mbappe bloke, quite good. Maybe I should ask the board to sign him. Maybe not. And if you were wondering about the entire competition and how we got to where we're at, well, Serbia beat England on penalties after England had beaten Germany. A whole host of shocks, I'm sure, here, there and everywhere. Of course, the expanded World Cup format in full swing. Japan knocked out by Australia in the first knockout round. And speaking of being knocked out of things, you know what, let's just get ahead of this before the intro. We've been knocked out in the Emperor's Cup. Yeah, look, this is embarrassing. This is the national kind of FA Cup competition. It's a competition we should be doing well in, and we got knocked out away from home against Vegalta. In my defence, they did score after extra time, and we probably were the better team. In their defence, they're a team in the league below us. It's a historic result for them. We were bad, as the ratings indicate. Nakano, probably his worst game of the year. He's been so good all year long, and he's continued to be really good. Just forgot how to catch in this game. Anyway, today we have got two matches coming your way. The first is against Urawa Reds. We're then taking on Jubilo, who are currently in 4th in the league. As well as that, transfer deadline day is happening this week. We're doing that in the video as well. So let's run the intro. No dillying and dallying around today. Let's get straight into things. Today, by the way, is episode number 56 of Tokyo Rising. I hope you guys are still enjoying things. As always, we are back, and as you can see, looking in this bottom left corner, the league table looks bloody pretty. However, we've drawn 3 games in a row, and we've lost, well, our mojo for scoring. We've drawn our last 2 games, I think, 0-0. But you know what? I am getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's talk about results since you were last here, starting, of course, with a game against Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Of course, last episode, that 7-1 result was emphatic. The 2-0, less so. We got off to an absolute flyer in this game here against Sanfrecce. My favourite goal in this game had to be the Nemo free kick. And this was the free kick, by the way. That is a ridiculous goal by Nemo. He's found the top corner. He's found his goal-scoring mojo. Well, for a period, like I mentioned, 2-0 nils. I'm going to keep mentioning them because they're really bothering me. Anyway, our final game before the World Cup break was against Kashima Antlers. A 2-1 win here was nice. Taba and Honda with the goals in our home game there. And then, well, we had the Emperor's Cup whilst no one was on international duty. Yeah, the World Cup has caused a pause in J1. We've not really been affected by it, except we have when you look at the scorelines. Because, yes, we won in the Emperor's Cup second round, but as already mentioned, we were knocked out by Vegalta. From there, a game against Matsumoto Yamaga finished 3-0. That was a good little result. I did organise friendlies, by the way, during this kind of run of games to try and keep legs fresh. Spoilers, hasn't worked lately. I suppose the good news is we are still unbeaten, but in this game here against Sanga, who were bottom of the league, we bottled things. They scored a penalty in the 95th minute. Definitely one of those games where you think, how did we not win? To be honest, it was a dominant first half where we couldn't find the back of the net that ultimately cost us in this one. And as for the other 2 games that we've had, I mean, this one against Grampus I think is a little more excusable. Of course, we absolutely dominated them last episode at home. Away from home, their goalkeeper got man of the match in a 0-0 draw. I feel like that says a lot about how the game went. And then most recently, we took on Hollyhock away from home. Of course, Hollyhock were promoted with us last year from J2. Currently, they are bottom of the league, and yet they managed to get a draw against us. Another 0-0 result. And having gone on a run of games where, well, let's be honest, we were pretty good at scoring with just 1 or 2 exceptions. The defensive records maintained its kind of very good outlook, but goal-scoring-wise, I am concerned, especially because today's games are not easy. Game number 1, Urawa Reds at home. They have a media prediction of 3rd. Last year, they finished 3rd. Currently, they're down in 10th. I feel like that's an indicator for how volatile J1 can be. And then after that, we're taking on Jubilo Iwata. They are a team who had a media prediction of 7th. They're currently up in 4th, and in fact, they are in the Champions League right now. So they are a well-established team. They have a game at the same time we have one. So the good news is, whilst we only have a few days to prepare for that second match, so do they. And on the same day that that game is happening, on the 17th of August, the transfer window is going to slam shut. As I've already alluded to, did do a little bit of wheeling and dealing. Firstly, on the outs, a few of these sales are maybe not all that surprising. Of the first team players of note, Yoshida has left the building. The 23-year-old once upon a time was our starting centre-back. I've actually ended up selling him on for a loss, but to be honest, I feel like he's more than repaid the fee that we paid for him in just performances he did and how useful he was during our J2 campaigns. But in J1, just hasn't been up to the same standard, so we ended up letting him go. Elsewhere, a couple of other players, more squad players that we've brought in over the years, have moved on. Kato only really featured in the first team sporadically, but he has left the building. Fukatsu arrived at the exact same time as Kato. He was a versatile defender that we've replaced with a new player I'll talk about shortly. We ended up selling him, as you can see here, for 60k, so a little bit of profit made there. But of all the sales, the most notable one is this one. Hitoshi Okamura, 20 years old. We signed him for 170k 3 years ago. This year in J1, he got man of the match and 2 assists in 1 game. In the other 8 appearances for us, he has been CAC, official terminology, by the way. I've ended up getting rid of him for £500,000. That's, I feel like, pretty good for a player who's just nowhere near our first team right now. Does take our total money received this year to 2.4 million, which is nice. We have, however, reinvested that in 2 fairly significant signings. The first is Kataoka. This guy, in hindsight, I shouldn't have loaned back to the club I've signed him from. I can't recall him from the loan, which is a bit annoying. I signed him, or rather I made the bid for him, and then the team that I was buying him off were like, hey, can we have him on loan to the end of the year? And I thought I was being nice. And then I made a comparison with Lucas Ferreira, and I realised I probably should have kept the 19-year-old around. He is almost certainly an upgrade in that centre mid kind of playmaking role for us, at least as a backup option. At 19 years old, he looks like he could be really, really good. Keep an eye on for this guy when he joins us next year. I don't necessarily know if he's going to feature ahead of Yamazaki. In fact, I don't think he will. However, he's definitely going to be able to provide some pretty nice competition there. And the other player that I've ended up signing, I kind of alluded to already. I needed someone to come in and kind of do Fukatsu's role in the team, which is basically backup left back / utility man. That utility man is Hirao here, 17 years old. Lodge that in your memory. He's 17. He's got the whole future ahead of him. Look at these physicals. Look at these mentals. And I know from a technical point of view, there's definitely room for improvement for the 17-year-old, but as a backup left-back that hopefully I can give some game time to, I feel like he could develop into a really, really good player, and already he can play a whole host of positions, so as just a bit of a Swiss Army knife of a backup player, I think he could be kind of useful. £200,000 isn't cheap, but we had the money to invest. He was the best young player that was out there. Now, there was a point this year where I think we were close to 10 points clear of Vissel Kobe. With 3 draws on the bounce and with them continuing to win, they have closed that gap on us slightly. Given the fact that today's upcoming games are perhaps 2 more challenging games compared to those that we've struggled in, a little bit scared for things today. But the home game against Urawa Reds perhaps gives us an opportunity to try and set the record straight. You can see they've won 3 of their last 4 league games. They are not pushovers. Damian Pizarro is their key man. He is pretty blooming good. He's on £42,000 a week. Our entire squad is on £55,000 a week. I mean, when you look at the league table, we should be favourites. When you look at their squad, they really should be battering us. Anyway, in terms of our team news, a little bit of annoying news. Kamiyama been out injured lately, and whilst he has passed a fitness test, technically, his condition just isn't all that. So as a result, Hashizume, who, to be fair, has been complaining about a lack of first-team football, is going to come into the team and play on the right-hand side. In terms of the rest of the team, though, we are pretty much at full strength. We did have a couple of injuries build up over the off-season period. We also had a few players with transfer interest in them, build up some unhappiness over the off-season period. You can see here, Tachi Banner during the summer, unhappy that I wasn't willing to sell him to F. Marinos. The right-back's just too valuable to let go. He's also contracted for the next 7 years, so he isn't going anywhere. And in a similar boat, a couple of other players are a little bit unhappy at lack of first-team football. The first is Sakaguchi, who, to be frank, just isn't good enough to be considered a starting centre-back. And Takagi as well. A couple of players here who I feel like need to learn their place a little bit. I'm going to try and lower Takagi's playing time and hope that he doesn't complain. I've lowered it to squad player. No angry red circle has appeared in the inbox. So maybe that I've got away with it. Hopefully now I've updated his squad status, he'll look at his current playing time and go, actually, it's that of a squad player. and he'll be happy. Takagi is contracted for the next 5 years. I don't want to let this guy go. He's been a valuable part of the team for many, many years. Anyway, team selected for this game, Nakano, of course, in goal, has been exceptional. I bigged him up last episode. Despite the fact we've not won in our last 3, he has also kept 2 clean sheets in back-to-back matches. So I'm looking at him to continue his fine goalkeeping run. He's currently leading the way for clean sheets in J1. And if I'm not mistaken, he's already broken the club record for most clean sheets in a year, which is silly. Maybe he can get another one today. With the attack that this team have got, not going to be easy. Okay, goal kick going to be taken here. Suzuki playing it across the back. You can see we are going to engage high and really try and push and press with our front four. We win the ball back nicely. It's been knocked around really, really nicely here. This is beautiful. Sadly, a wayward pass in the middle sees us lose the ball, but Hashizume is going to try and get the ball forward quickly. Not once, but twice. Taba's there. Taba scores. If it counts, it's a great start to this game. Now the anxious wait for the offside flag. Is this goal going to count? VAR is being consulted, and the goal is going to count. We seized the ball nicely with Nakamura in the defensive midfielder position. The ball was dinked forward. Suzuki, not a good defensive header in truth. The ball was looped to the back post, and Taba adds another goal to the collection. That is a really nice header. I feel like I don't big up Taba enough. The 19-year-old is continuing to develop. I want to give him a new deal, but he wants silly wage risers. Given the fact that we could potentially be knocking on the door of Champions League football next year, I probably will need to reevaluate the wage structure of the club. The flag's been raised on the far side here. Nervy moment for a second there as the ball hit the back of the net. It's not going to count. But yeah, just circling back to that previous point, from a wage structure point of view, we really could scale up the wages significantly next year. I've managed to keep the wage spend fairly low this year, a bit conservative perhaps as we've been promoted into J1. But if we could get into some kind of continental football, there definitely is the scope to up the wages a little bit and perhaps give players like Taba the money that they deserve. Saying all of that, players like Taba have the shortest contracts at the club, and he has still got 2 further years after this one. So we're not in a rush to do anything just yet, at least when it comes to contracts. On the pitch, Hashizume is taking the game to their defence again. The right-sided players look really, really good in this game. We do still have a corner here, which Yamazaki is going to whip in. The header hits the post. It's cleared away once, it's cleared away twice, and Urawa Reds, well, they're going to live to fight another day here. We are knocking on the door of a second goal. Sadly, we've not been let in yet. Also, I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but this year I've actually been playing with highlight speeds turned up 1 higher than I ordinarily play Football Manager with. You may have spotted it, you may not have done. If you've noticed it and not liked it, let me know. Equally, if you hadn't noticed it, be interesting to know if that was the case. I do feel like it just helps keep the matches snappier and it makes the passing look more free-flowing when it goes in like that. Nemo finding the back of the net. Taba working with Honda nicely. The front 3 there. There was actually another option to the right that I thought might get called into action. But in the end, Nemo's gone in on his lonesome. He's found the back of the net. And he's made it 2-0. But yeah, for years and years, I've played with the highlight speed just 1 above the middle. I've actually gone to 2 recently, and I think I kind of prefer it. I don't know. Creature of habit, I am normally. I think the habit's been broken. And, well, so far, since we've turned up the speed, the players play better. So we're not going to change it, obviously. Although we may need to do some defending here. Takeda to Ito at the edge. Nice build-up play. Nonyama scores, and well, Nomiyama is now going to seize the ball out the back of the net and go running towards the halfway line. It was a great start to this game. It's still a great start to this game. But any hopes of another clean sheet removed. The ball was actually switched from one side to the other really nicely. Our defence caught narrow. And well, a goal opportunity for them was provided. I mean, I'll be honest, their goal there has come completely against the run of play. I'm going to hope they're not going to get another one, and well, maybe we could reinstate the 2-goal lead. Honda, Yamazaki, Taba, shot hits the post, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Okay, 3 minutes of added time at this end of the half are going to come, and well, they're going to go. It is 2-1 at the break. I know that I'm maybe inviting complacency on here, but I'm just going to tell the players I'm really happy. Look at this, a sea of green, happy, smiley faces across the board. Going to praise the players as well. I want to keep the green, happy smiley faces going, and well, if we could get another goal, it'd be nice. Honda, Nakamura, Delacorte, Honda dummies it, Yamazaki, edge of the box, pulls the trigger, hits the woodwork. We've hit the post multiple times in this game. Nemo was offside from the rebound. The goal would have counted had it gone straight in. Sadly, though, well, I think we've hit the woodwork 3 times today, definitely 2 times. And yet, it's still a 1-goal game. I hope we're not going to live to regret these misses as well. We're bringing the ball forward again. Delacorte, options in the middle, could drive across, gives it to Honda, and that's deflected off a defender across the face of goal. I don't know how it's not gone in. I'm beginning to question everything here. Are we going to be able to get a goal? No. Look, Manga's header, not one. Hashizume, Tachibana, could he pull the trigger? Hashizume's efforts blocked. And, well, Urawa Reds in the first half showed some resilience to not concede more and then went up the other end and scored. I'm concerned that with all these chances missed, the chances of them getting another goal increase. There are a couple of tired legs here. Taba looking a little worse for wear. I'm going to bring in Takagi. Sasaki is another striker who I could potentially look to bring in. At the start of the year, I thought he was going to be the main man. 20 goals last year for Sasaki in J2. But this year, if we just look at things, he has had 4 major injuries so far this year, which is kind of insane. He has missed almost 3 months of football, pretty much. Well, I'm going to say 3 months. It's... how many weeks is it? 11 weeks of football? That is nearly 3 months. He's missed so much football this year. Right now, he's on the bench and ready and raring to go. And you know what? Honda's played okay in this game. Sasaki could maybe play even better. I'm going to bring him on the left-hand side. Besides that, though, I'm not going to change much more. Just a couple of fresh legs brought on. Going to hope they can work out in our favour as well. Tachibana takes a short free kick. Nakamura, Tachibana. Yamazaki can't quite get there. The ball is cleared away, but look, Manga is going to sweep up the mess and look to pick out Nakamura. As our defensive midfielder, he is always sat there in front of the defence, ready to receive the ball and build something out, just like we're doing here. The build-up play superb. The tackle there, for a moment, I thought was going to go in our favour. I think the ref gave a penalty here. The referee is now going to VAR. I don't feel like this is a penalty. I mean, if it's a penalty, I won't complain. It's being checked. What's the man on the big screen going to say? The answer is... da-da-da-da. I'm accepting no penalty. And I knew it. Well, we stopped the play for no reason there. We had the ball. We've drawn our last 3 games in a row. I was a bit concerned that we were going to end up continuing that rot in this video. So far, and I don't want to jinx it too soon, it doesn't look like that is what's going to happen because we have created a ton in this game. We've been by far and away the better team. I just need us to get over the line. There is 3 minutes left. Why is there a throw-in deep in our own half? Why does this scare me? Urawa Reds pressing high up the pitch. If we beat their press, there is space in behind to hurt them. Nakamura, Yamazaki. Lovely little bit of build-up play here. Tachibana at right back could give it back to Yamazaki. He does that. The roaming playmaker bringing it forward, squares it to Takagi. And if that goal counts, which it is going to, it's such a beautiful goal. We have scored so many intricate passing plays during this year. That is another one right there and then. Tachibana and Yamazaki with the little 1-2. I thought from a moment here he was going to smash it into the side netting, but intelligently he plays it across to a man who's been here since the 4th tier of Japanese football, and he's continuing to bang them in for us. It's 3-1. There is going to be a kickoff highlight now, so for all the song and dance I'm making about us getting a goal, it could quickly be, well, eliminated the advantage that it gave us. As, well, they're on the attack. Don't do it to me, Urawa Reds. Nomiyama already has 1 goal. He turns his man nicely there. There's options in the middle to aim for. Plays it to Tajima. Ito definitely should have scored there. We've been left the hook. It's still 3-1. Okay, full time here. 3-1 this game finishes. A little bit of a scare perhaps as the second half went on and it remained at 2-1. But we got that 3rd goal. Very, very happy with that. Yamazaki, if I'm not mistaken, picked up man of the match in that game. He got an 8.1 rating. And, well, he's bloody good, isn't he? Now, like I mentioned, we had drawn our last couple of games, so to get a result there was really nice. The league table is meant to show here. Football Manager's just not showing it for me. Football Manager, are we okay? Maybe we are. Looking at things here, Vissel Kobe have not played. So they've got a game in hand on us. If they win that, it's still only a 3-point lead at the top. Elsewhere, F Marinos with a really, really emphatic result there. Elsewhere, Jubilo, who are playing in our next game, have dropped down a little bit. That being all said and done, I've just realised here there's a load of teams still playing games in J1. So if we just hit continue a little bit, let's get the updated league table with everyone having played. A load of extra games have come in here, and Vissel have lost. Vissel have lost to Cerezo Osaka, and we're 6 points clear with 13 games left. I thought we were bottling it at a point. Now I'm questioning if everyone around us is also bottling it. Anyway, game number 2 today is against Jubilo. They have gone back up to 3rd with a win in their later kickoff. It's also going to coincide with deadline day. There's also an away day to the Yamaha Stadium to look forward to. So lots still to go on today. We've got transfer deadline day to get through, an away day, a match. Don't go anywhere. Future Jack's got his work cut out. I'll see you in a mo. Okay, folks, deadline day is here, and to be honest, I don't know if anything's going to happen, but I just figured since it's between episodes, or between the matches in today's episode, probably should cover it in some capacity, really. In terms of the finances, there is wage budget and transfer budget to spend if I want to spend it, and when you look at the squad, you could certainly argue there's maybe a position or two where we're, I want to say, lacking a player. I mean, how big is our current squad? 23 players. I feel like if we were in a load of continental competitions and stuff, I'd be worried. But then I look at our remaining games, I see how spaced out they are. I don't really want to sign players for the sake of it. Then again, how can you not just start sorting players by age and looking through the players that are scouted and seeing if any of them are any good? There are a couple of players here that I have actually added to my shortlist, like Miyake, who I'm kind of just tempted to sign. I would be signing him for the sake of it. I don't need a right-sided player, but he is quite good. I mean, if he wanted to come and just be a B-team player, I'd probably be able to sell him on for some money, maybe. Question marks over his potential. They want to sign a replacement first. What if I choose to sign him at the end of the year? Can I offer a replacement player? I'll give you Barada. I don't want to give them Barada. Barada's quite good. What if I offer them Barada on a 6-month loan? Will that solve the problem? I thought I added him. He's not now appeared. I mean, they've accepted the bid, so I guess we'll just pay the 180,000. I feel like Tomoyuki here is actually a really good player when you look at his physicals and mentals. I guess the question mark becomes, has he got any potential? But with Perfectionist personality, I feel like he's going to improve at least a little bit. And worst case, I feel like I can just sell him on for money. Maybe I should just sign him for that. I guess what it really boils down to now is he willing to join us with a more acceptable squad status? He wants to be a squad player, becoming a regular starter. I've got some bad news for him here. You're going to be a fringe player. How about an impact sub? Okay, he's accepted that. Of course, he's not joining us to the start of next year now. His wage demands here aren't even that unreasonable, to be completely honest. I feel like I can offer him a deal like this. He's the kind of player who I'll probably have training with the first team, make available for the B team, and then if we have injuries or if players move between now and the start of next year, he can come in. I definitely feel like there's worse players out there. Like Hashizume here is my current right attacking midfielder option. Well, this might be controversial, but is Tomoyuki that much worse? I mean, when you look at it like that, he looks way better. What I would say is in stuff like pace, which I think is kind of important in the match engine, and some of these mentals and technicals for a striker, Hashizume maybe has the edge. But for the price of paying 180k, I think it's just worth it. I mean, there are some foreign players I've got scouted here from, well, somewhere. They look okay. I mean, Mohammed has a fantastic username. I say username. He is a human. It's not a username. It's his actual name, even if he's not a real person. Does that make it a username? No idea. I feel like, given how much I've bigged up Nakano and how good his aerial reach and shot stopping is, it'd be somewhat criminal now, wouldn't it, to get rid of him and replace him with a name just because I've signed him because his name's Mohammed. I can't justify it. Teruyoshi Kibe here is not a bad player. He's another one of these university players who's generated a little older than players that generate at high school clubs and other league clubs, because he's a university team player. He generates usually when he's 18. Super consistent. My scouts like the look of him a lot. I mean, if the asking price is reasonable here, and he doesn't have an outrageous squad status demand, I might be willing to sign him. Right, how much does he want is the new question here. Kibe wants to play, wants to be an important player. He can be an impact sub. He really wants to be an important player. And I don't think he's good enough to give that to. I mean, to be fair, when you compare him with Sasaki, who I was bigging up previously, he is arguably a little bit better, but he can only play as a striker, and that's a problem because he definitely wouldn't be starting games as a striker. There's other teams interested in him. I mean, it's the kind of player who for 200k I could just sign to try and sell on for some money, and he'd be a semi-useful squad player now, maybe. I mean, it's not like I need another striker, but he's not bad. Can I lower his status down to squad player? How about regular starter? Okay, he's accepted that. And then demand-wise, I mean, if we get rid of the yearly wage rise, the wages here are so low, I'm actually okay with this. I'm going to try and sneak in an optional contract extension just to make this a longer-term deal. £1,000. You know what? 1.1 thousand. Am I just signing some good young Japanese players for the sake of it right now? You know what? Arguably I am, but I don't think you can ever have too many of those, especially with the foreign player limits. And even if these players don't go on to appear in the first team, I'd like to think we can develop some of them. I have had just another look through the rest of these players. I'll be honest, I feel like I've already found the best of the bunch. If I lower the age range of the players just significantly here, is there any mad young players that I should be looking at? Samson Mba. Is he good? My scouts think he's good. He's Nigerian. I think I must have scouted him when I was scouting all the young players at the World Cup. I'm underwhelmed by him. Yuzo Ito here has had a bid on him of 250k. Do I want to go in and try and steal this one? He's 17 years old. He's super consistent. He's a right-hand-sided player. How much have teams bid? 250k. You know what? I'll come in with 350. Why not try and steal a signing on deadline day? I mean, the reason not to do it is because it could be a waste of money. But for £500,000, okay. So for slightly more than £1 million, could he be worth it? I mean, he's 17. He looks very good. It might be a slightly flawed logic, but I look at the list of teams that are interested in signing him, and I just assume he must be good. I want him. He's 17. Ito looks great. The observant of you may have noticed he plays out on the right wing, where another player we're already looking to sign in Tomoyuki already plays, but he just looks very good. And at 17, with the potential that my staff think he's got and the consistency he has, he could be really good. I say the potential he's got. Does he have that much potential? Can I trust my scouts? I want to say I trust my scouts. I mean, when you look at the recruitment stuff here, we have the best scouts in the whole of J1. And yet I just want to believe with a player like this. Maybe they've just got his potential wrong. I mean, there's a lot to like about him. Has also just dawned on me, his contract is actually expiring at the end of the current season, so I could potentially sign him for free. But if I now cancel transfer negotiations with him, he's going to be upset that I cancel the transfer negotiations with him, I think. Although, we've not got to the contract negotiation stage yet. So if I hit cancel transfer and then try and make an offer now, maybe I can sign him. Can I approach to sign? I can. Okay, this is good. Had I hit continue having made a bid and then cancelled things, he would have asked for way more. Okay, he wants quite a lot of money, but I will say in his defence, if he plays this many games for us, he might be worth the money he's asking for. The yearly wage rise isn't going to work. I'm going to ask for an optional contract extension. I am in a bidding war with a load of other J1 teams here, so I don't want to make him too angry. I mean, I was willing to give him £500,000, well, to his club to sign him. Instead of doing that, let's just give him £100,000 and see what he says. He wants to go away and think about it. Those wages will spiral upwards should he play enough games. But at that point, he'd probably be worth the money we're paying him. I feel like now I need to check players with contracts expiring in 6 months and see if there's other good players out there, like Sakuma here. Do I really want to sign another player from Amori Yamada High School? There's going to come a point where I'm not allowed to turn up at this high school's gates, because every year I seem to sign someone from them. I mean, we do already have quite a lot of strikers. I'm not sure he's an upgrade, but he's valued at up to £1 million. What squad status does he want? If he's willing to be a backup, I could sign him. He doesn't want to be a backup. I'm not going to sign him. I'm looking through some of these other players with contracts expiring. They're not quite as exciting. Instead of looking at the players I've got scouted, I'm now just sorting it by value in case there's more players here that I've not had a look at yet. But truthfully, I'm kind of underwhelmed by all these players being shown to me. I mean, there is a Colombian goalkeeper here who has mad potential apparently. What I will say is his current ability, not good. I'm now looking at players aged at most 18 with contract status expiring. There is a load of players here, some of which I have looked at before. One example is Nakajima. If you're wondering, why am I ignoring this guy? He's inconsistent, has no technicals, and he's very, very small for a centre-back. And I'll be honest, I don't need more centre-backs. But I did look at him at one point. But just looking through all these players here, there are some quite good players, potentially. I think the issue with a lot of these players is just the question mark over their potential. I don't want to be overpaying for players too much that don't have the required potential to make it for us just yet. I am now just looking at the most valuable players in the exact same kind of parameters to see if there's anyone mad that I've just, missed scouting who could be mad. Someone like Fujiyoshi here, who can finish, can run, has great natural fitness, but cannot do anything else. I'm beginning to feel like I'm just procrastinating here, and I really just need to get on with recording today's video, but I don't know, there's that inner football manager drive, in the back of your mind. You don't want to feel like you've missed out on the one. But at this point, I'm beginning to think if there was the one out there, I probably would have already found him. S-Pulse, the cheeky devils, have made an offer for Lukmanga. He's not interested in talking to them. I want to believe that a lot of our players now would be interested in staying with us to see out the year, to see if we can win the league, given the position that we're in. You can see here, we have tabled an offer to Kibe. Feel like he would be a really good striker to pick up. His physicals are so solid. He might even be a useful player to see out the year. Ito, if we can get him, would be nice. But with all of these players, there is a bit of a bidding war going on. The one exception, however, is Tomoyuki. No one else has made a bid for this man yet, so I'm hoping we can get at least one deadline deal done. Okay, Ito set to join us. I am overpaying him a little bit. Let's just ignore that matter. And also Kibe set to join us as well for 200k. Not a tiny transfer by any means, but these are kind of the fun transfers that we can afford to do, I feel like, given our current position. Ito doesn't join us right away. If I want to buy him now, it will cost me 275k. I was about to pay £500,000 for him. I'm glad I've spotted that. Otherwise, the comment section would not let me hear the end of it. Our staff really like the look of Kibe. Potential could be sky high as well for the 20-year-old. With all these players that don't have the real photo faces, I am going to sort them probably at the end of the year now. But yeah, looking at things with Kibe here, he could be really good. He just needs to learn how to shoot. You know what? I think he can learn, maybe. I hope he can learn because he's good at everything else. I said just a moment ago, didn't I? I wasn't sure if Tomoyuki would be the only deal we got done, but he's now the one deal that we're waiting on. And Sakurai, our backup left attacking mid option, is out for a few days. I thought for a second it was Sasaki. Of course, Sasaki's the man who's been having all the injuries. Sakurai is kind of the long servant at the club who probably shouldn't be here anymore. I mean, with Kiba's arrival, he probably falls even further down the pecking order. So I don't feel bad about the fact he's got injured. 9 hours left on deadline day here. I did wonder if we might get some offers made for some of our players. They don't seem to be coming in. We had a few players unhappy that I wasn't willing to sell them. The good news is the teams that were interested in them appear to have got bored. Maybe. Hopefully. The deal for Tomoyuki Miyake has been delayed as his team have failed to find a replacement. I only have the option to accept the delay, so I'll hit accept. I probably should let them know. There's 2 hours left of the transfer window. So given the deals that we had going on, that was the one deal I thought might happen. It's now not going to happen. I mean, that is awkward, isn't it, really? I mean, I have just made the exact same offer with the transfer day of the end of the season and they've accepted it. So we'll get the deal done. But the deal will just take a little longer than we originally planned. If I'm not mistaken, we already had the transfer set to go through at the end of the current season. I think it's purely because they still had the sign replacement thing included that this has kind of scuppered our opportunity to sign him. But nevertheless, you can see here, we're going to get a deal done. So, yeah, Tomoyuki, I'm sorry you're not coming right away. You will be with us next year. And with that, transfer deadline day is done. We weren't exactly particularly active. You can see here, Anguissa signed for Vissel Kobe. Vissel have signed him as a squad player. Just as a reminder, they're the team hunting us down. He could be quite good for them in this run-in to end the year. Speaking of which, that run-in continues. Up next, a very difficult game away against Jubilo. They are currently in third. We're in first. They're 8 points behind us. A big point swing could happen. But before all of that, an away day to the Yamaha Stadium. Don't go anywhere. Let's head to Iwata. I was going to say to Yamaha. Yamaha's the sponsor, not the place. I'm not a moron, I promise. So for today's away day, we are heading to the south coast. We are heading to Hamamatsu and we are heading to Iwata, this lovely little city. And, well, hopefully somewhere there is a football pitch. There is one on screen here. That's not the pitch that I need. The Yamaha Stadium is just next door. And you know what? When I heard Yamaha Stadium, I thought, surely, you know, the Yamaha motorcycles, they've got to have some kind of car park. Good news, everyone. Car parks ahoy. I don't know why I'm talking like a pirate. Here they are. There's tons. This is one of the more central kind of city stadiums I feel like we've seen. There doesn't seem to be a load of activities going on around the edge, just loads of car parking, which I guess we love. I saw this building connected to the stadium and it was labelled Yamaha something and I thought, oh, is it like a factory or something? Speaking of which, Yamaha getting their branding here. They're really getting their money's worth in today's video. Apparently this is just a gymnasium, which Yamaha also bought the naming rights for because why wouldn't you? As for the football stadium, I mean, we can get a little peek through here. It does feel like a proper old school stadium actually that's been built up over time. And if we peek between the trees, here we are. We're definitely in the right place. Leave the logistics to this bird, duck, animal. It could be a canary. I don't know why I get distracted by that. Here is the stadium where there is a cafe in the main stand. You love to see it. I mean, I'll be honest, the stadium isn't the prettiest from the outside, but it has also got its mascot as a statue outside. Bonus points for that, give them a tick. And their club shop is not labelled a superstore or a mega store, it's just called the Jubilo shop. They understand the assignment. I've criticised Japanese away days for not taking seat art seriously. They are taking the exterior of this stadium seriously. They want you to know who's sponsoring the stadium and who plays it, and I love it. Sad day for away day fans. We can't go look at the car parks in that much detail, but there's a couple of dots on the pitch. Let's go see what's happening on the inside, starting with this one here, where they're prepared for Rugby Town attending the game. Here is the Jubilo Stadium. You have to hope it's not going to rain here. I don't know enough about the climate of this part of Japan to know how essential a roof is. I'll be honest, it doesn't look particularly sunny on this day the photo was taken. Kind of like the stadium, but this curved roof does feel a little out of place, doesn't it? It's like they realised halfway through that they should have put a roof everywhere and they thought they'd put one over the bit that was the more important seating. Here is the stadium on a very blurry match day. You can see the away fans have made their presence known. It's probably Raysol, because Raysol's fans are in every away day, it seems. I mean, it's a cute stadium. It's nothing special. And here is the halfway line view under the nice premier seating where we do actually get a roof. Here is the seat art where I love the font that they've chosen as well. They've not gone for a boring font. The Yamaha Stadium here, just a stadium that exists. It wasn't bad. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't great. It was just a 4 out of 10 away day with a good car park and a store. In some ways, maybe they should have called it a superstore to jazz it up. Anyway, now that I've done complaining about their stadium, we're going to hope we go to that stadium and batter them in a match. Why is Yamazaki and Taba on international duty with the Japan under-23s? You know what? This is quite a big game, isn't it? It's first versus third, and 2 of my starters are not available. The Yamazaki one, I will say now, is the bigger issue because he is our star roaming playmaker. And whilst I do have Lucas Ferreira as kind of the backup, I don't really have a third roaming playmaker to play. Elsewhere too, Taba, bit disappointing that he's not available. Good news though, Kibe could make his debut if I want to rush him into the team. I feel like being sensible for a moment will keep him on the bench and bring in Takagi. He played very well last game and got a goal on off the bench. I'm going to give him the chance to start this one. Did rest up, by the way, the rest of the players since that last game. They are all pretty much in good match sharpness and condition right now. We've not got too many midweek games between now and the end of the year. In fact, I think there's one more midweek game, and with us out of all cup competitions, fixtures are going to be spaced out. So I don't feel like I need to manage the minutes too much here. This is going to be a test, though, especially without 2 big players missing. It was already a tricky one. Let's see if we can get the result we need. A win is required. Okay, they are playing the classic 4-4-2. Once upon a time, we were boring like that. Now we play an asymmetric 4-4-2 like absolute mavericks. Hopefully it's going to work out in our favour. So far in this game, we've played 15 minutes. Nothing has happened. That said, there is now a corner. Tachibana whips in. Manga was under it. It's cleared away once. Hashizume to Tachibana. Edge of the box goes even further away from goal to Nakamura. Lucas Ferreira, though, is capable of picking out a pass. He needs to do it here. He floats it. Honda nods it. And a looping header comes on off the crossbar. Honda is still maybe at the back post. The cross doesn't find him. We have, well, a half chance early on that's wasted. We might get another chance here as Luke Manga heads it down. The keeper holds on to it. 2 chances in a matter of minutes. Sadly, we can't find a breakthrough, but maybe it's coming. Maybe it's our time. Maybe we can win this game and give ourselves some breathing room over the team in third. Delacorte loses out the ball. Gabriel Barros bringing the ball forward. Lays it inside to Osawa. Hatate now with the ball. Okamoto cutting inside with his afro. Tachibana, massive tackle. Tries to get it to Nemo. Headed away. Oba with a little back heel. And now they're going to look to relaunch the attack. Hatate looking to keep this ball alive. There's players in the middle. Okamoto is one player at the edge. Probing from range. We win the ball back nicely, though, and now a counter-attack's on. Nemo was in his own half. The flag is not raised. He pulls the trigger, and now he hits the crossbar as well. I mean, halfway through this first half, I'm just going to shout encouragement at the players. There's green, happy, smiley faces. There's now a free kick. It's whipped in. Manga's under it. Honda's under it. Gets a header. Delacorte scores. Delacorte, second goal of the season for the left-back. That might be his most important one yet. I say that like there's a load of competition between all the goals he scored. Yeah, it's his second goal of the year for the left-back. Look, I've got caught up in the moment. Honda, with the Mohawk, has won another massive header, gets the assist. And to be honest, I feel like we've deserved that lead off the first half an hour. I don't want to whisper it too loudly, They've not had a shot on goal yet. We have absolutely shut them down in this game. Okay, they've now had a shot, but the point still stands. They've not had a shot on target yet. There's only 5 minutes left of the half. We have silenced the team in third place, well, for 44 minutes. There's 2 minutes left at the end of this half to continue to silence them for, but, well, concerningly for us, they're in possession. Okamoto back to Kawano. Left back inside to Hitate. Okamoto pulls the trigger, scores. Why did I say anything? I don't care what anyone says. Football Manager is definitely listening to everything that you say when you play the game. It knows what's happening. It knows the script that you're reading from, and it decides to change the script on the fly. It's 1-1. That's so gutting before the break because we've been so on top in this game. It's their first shot on the target. I'm getting carried away here. I'm about to throw a water bottle. I'm just going to tell the players I'm not happy. I'm going to try and get them motivated as well. And I just don't really want to change things because before they scored, it was such a good half for us. The only disappointment, really, the fact that we'd hit the woodwork twice. I am looking at the match ratings thinking, maybe we should change things here. You know what? Kibe on Ucom, Sasaki on Ucom. Kibe, a spontaneous signing made all of a sudden with Taba on international duty, finds himself in the team. Elsewhere, Kamiyama on the road back to fitness, not really match sharp. Going to bring him on the right-hand side and see if he can make something happen. And as I make changes, we now hit the crossbar. The players involved in that chance are all being subbed off. Tachibana has a shot from range. There is now a temptation, having seen the woodwork hit there, to not change things further. But you know what? I'm going to persist with the changes. I'm going to shout more words of encouragement. There's less than half an hour to try and get a second goal in this game that would put us in the lead. And right now we're not finding it. Tachibana, near side, the right back, makes something magical happen. Kibe on his debut. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. Kamiyama, he's cometh, he scoreth. It's 2-1, the right mid. He's been out with injury, is back. And I just saw a result elsewhere pop up on the left-hand side. Did you spot that? Did you? If you didn't spot it, I'm going to show you it very smugly in a moment. Kibe, Nakamura, Kamiyama, tight angle shoots, and that is a ridiculous finish. That result elsewhere I was talking about, by the way, Vissel Kobe, currently 4-1 down. If things stay as they are, we're going to be 9 points clear of them with 12 games left. I'm starting to dream. Then again, they are still creating stuff here. Ball whipped in. Manga, what are you doing? What are you doing? We've given away a penalty. I know it's a penalty. Football Manager, I don't need this whole charade. Just, there needs to be a skip button for VAR decisions because I've seen him shove in from here. They've done nothing all game. They have a chance now to make it 2-2. Nakano's made penalty saves already this year. I need another. He's actually given me another. I love this man in goal. I love him. He has single-handedly won us so many points this year. A couple of times he's saved penalties in games that have gone on to be one-goal matches. It might be repeating itself here. He's made the stop. That was, by the way, only their third shot on target, although in their credit, they have created a little bit more in this second half since they've changed up their system. Well, we could be called into some more defensive action here, although Honda wins it nicely. We're knocking the ball around. This one-touch intricate passing is delightful. Kamiyama squares it. There was players queuing up. Honda is the man who scored it. Please count, is all I can really say. There was multiple players in the box. I just have to hope that one of them stayed onside. And the answer is they didn't. Which player wasn't onside here is my question. Oh, it's been given for... Sasaki's been given it for blocking the line of sight on the goalkeeper. That's not a decision that happens often in Football Manager. I'm annoyed about that. It's still 2-1. You'd be forgiven for losing track of the scoreline here because both teams will feel like they could have scored. I feel like we should have scored. And now they're on the attack here. Yoniyama dispossessed Sasaki. What a ball that is by him to Kamiyama there. Loads of space for the right winger to give it to Kibe. Signed on deadline day. And I thought the script was written for him, but the keeper's denied. Right, you know what? I'm going to make some changes here. I'm going to bring in fresh legs. Sakaki on Ucom. Sakurai on Ucom for Honda as well. I just want to get some fresh legs onto the pitch here to try and see out this game. I'm not going to go to time wasting because I feel like it can backfire. I'm desperately wanting to make another shout, but I can't because it's greyed out. It's still 2-1. We have a corner. Manga gave away a penalty, was bailed out. He could make amends here because you have to imagine we're going to be aiming for him. The keeper spills it. It's still in a dangerous area. Kibe was offside. It was offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway. There's 2 minutes left of the game. They've got a free kick. Not like this, Football Manager. The Football Manager has a sick sense of humour. It's Yoniyama to step up for them. He shoots. It hits Manga in the wall and goes out. I've just seen Vissel Kobe, by the way. They're now 6-1 down against the Hime. That is a mental result for the team in second to be getting battered like that. It's 2-2 here. I mean, I'm annoyed. I am annoyed, but the thing that's not annoying me is at least the fact that I know the team directly behind us are getting battered. But against the team in third here, we've had a chance to pull away. And we've completely cocked it up. There's no other way of phrasing it here. It's 2-2. I'm too annoyed to make any changes. Let's be honest, they wouldn't have made a difference. From a heroic penalty save to a last-minute goal conceded, that's completely ignoring the goal that was disallowed as well. I feel like we didn't deserve to draw that game. I mean, Vissel Kobe have been beaten 6-1 by Hime, who with that result, by the way, have now climbed up to second and leapfrogged Vissel on goal difference. That is how absurd that result is. Jubilo with the draw keep hunting us down. We do have this nice 7-point gap and some good goal difference. But one win in our last 5 league games. How can you not look at that and be a little bit worried? I mean, 19 games unbeaten is what I'm going to hold on to. We've drawn too many lately. I mean, the bizarre thing is, when you now look at the league table, you have to wonder, how much further could we have been ahead if we hadn't been ballsing things up lately? Our saving grace has been the fact that teams around us have also been messing up. You may have noticed as well, look at our upcoming games. We do have a game against Vissel Kobe on the horizon. Naturally, we have to come back for that tomorrow. I know it's not that many games away, but that could be an absolutely massive one. And after that, there is Frontale to take on as well. I say Frontale, it's just said Frontale. I'm 99.9% sure. They were champions of the league, by the way, 3 years ago. They're currently down in 11th, so they've had a miserable year. I don't feel like they're going to be pushovers, though. Right, gang, we are going to leave things there for today. Let me know what you thought of my deadline day dealings. Hopefully you enjoyed this slightly longer episode as well. If you did, you know what to do. Down below, leave a like. Show your appreciation. We're back tomorrow for more. Until then, take things easy. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.